Good morning, my dear students. Once again, we are going to continue with our existing chapter that we have started in the previous video, that is dissolution of partnership firm. In the first video, I have discussed about the journal entries that are required to be passed in realization account and the items that are related to the realization account, right? Today, I am going to take up a question, practical question, where we'll know about how the journal entries are passed in the practical situation. We have seen the journal entries, we have learned about that. Now we'll see how to apply it, right? So here is a question. So as we start, just remember that generally what happens is that in this type of questions, it is mentioned or it is given as obvious that the transaction that to transfer, okay, the transaction to transfer the assets and liabilities in realization account has already been done. ठीक है, मतलब asset और liability realization account में transfer हो चुका है. Okay, we are only required to pass the after effect. उसके बाद जो effect होगा, that means either paying the expenses, okay, or selling the asset or asset taken over by partner, जो भी होगा, okay, we will do the effect of that. Okay, that is the settlement of the assets and liabilities. Okay, we will not transfer it again. We will assume that it has already been transferred. Okay, so let's start. So what is given here? Past journal entries for the following transaction. What is given? Number one by one we'll go with the entries. Realization expenses amounted to 5,000. 5,000 was the realization amount expenses. Okay, so if you can recall in the previous class, if you are having doubt, then it will be better if you revise the previous video, then you come and watch this. That will be better. Okay, so realization expenses was 5,000 rupees. So what will be the journal entry for that? Remember, if it is an expense, so realization account is a nominal account, right? So realization expenses will be a loss. So realization account will be debit, right? And we are going to pay how much? 5,000. So cash or bank will be credit. So you can mention either cash or bank. There is no hard and fast rule in case of journal entries. Okay, because there is no balance given, either cash balance or bank balance. Both are not given. Okay, so that is why you can use cash or bank, anyone. But preferably if you use bank, that will be good. Okay, so what is given here? Realization expenses will be debited because realization expenses is a nominal account. So realization account will be debit to cash or bank account 5,000. Okay, let's see the entry. Here it is. Realization account debit 5,000 to bank account 5,000. Okay, you can mention to cash, it will not be wrong, but preferably you mention it bank. Okay, what has happened? Narration you have to give being realization expenses paid. Then coming to the next one. Realization expenses amounted to 8,000 were paid by partner X. Okay, realization expenses of 8,000 was paid by partner X. Partner, the name of the partner was X. Okay, so if partner is paying the realization expenses, that means what? First thing, it is a loss for the firm. Realization expenses हुआ मतलब loss हुआ है. So realization account will be debit. Clear? Realization account will be debit. Expenses हुआ, loss हुआ, realization account debit. 2 will be the source through which the payment is gone. अगर कैश से गया तो टू कैश, अगर पार्टनर के अकाउंट से गया तो टू पार्टनर्स अकाउंट. We will have to give to the partner. That is why it will be given through partner. Okay, two partners capital account. So realization account will be debit because it is a realization expenses. So it's a loss. So realization account debit, right? 2 कैसे गया यहाँ पे पैसा? सोर्स क्या है वहां का? कैपिटल. किसका कैपिटल? एक्स का. That is why it will be 2x capital account. Journal entry will be like this. Realization account debit for the loss to X capital account, the source through which the payment has been done. Okay, so realization account debit 8,000 to X capital account 8,000 being realization expenses paid by X on behalf of the firm. Okay, on behalf of the firm, X is paying the realization expenses. Clear? Now coming to the point 3, realization expenses amounted to 10,000. Okay, there was a realization expenses which was of 10,000 rupees were paid by the firm. Firm paid it. Okay, मतलब firm ने दे दिया उसको on behalf of a partner, but it was supposed to be paid by the partner. In the previous video we saw that if a partner is taking the liability of realization expenses, okay, and the firm is paying it, if the firm is paying it, then what will happen? We will take the money from the partner. Okay, if he is supposed to pay and if he is supposed to pay and okay, if अगर partner को देना है and the firm is bearing it, right? Clear? The the firm is bearing it. Partner is supposed to pay, but the firm is bearing it. That means the partner will have to pay the firm this time. ठीक है? Partner firm को pay करेगा. So how we are going to take from the partner? Partner's capital account debit. Okay, partner's capital account debit, and since the firm is paying, so money is going out, so to cash account or bank account. Okay, this time realization expenses will not be the loss for the firm, it is the loss of the partner. So that is why we will deduct from the partner, because partner did not pay, firm is paying on behalf of the partner. पार्टनर को देना था, सो पार्टनर दिया नहीं, फॉर्म को देना पड़ा, सो पार्टनर का अकाउंट से काट लेंगे हम लोग. कैसे काटेंगे? पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट टू cash or bank account 10,000. Okay, you can see here partners capital account debit 10,000 to bank account 10,000 being realization expenses paid by the firm on behalf of partner. Partner के behalf पे payment हुआ है. Okay, then coming to the next one, realization expenses amounted to 15,000, and what has happened here? The total realization expenses was 15,000. What happened after that? Mr. X, one of the partner, has to bear these expenses. Mr. X was supposed to bear the expenses. Okay, Mr. X को bear करना चाहिए था ये realization expenses. क्या बोला है? ध्यान से समझो फिर से. Realization expenses was 15,000, right? And Mr. X, one of the partner, has to bear these expenses. Okay, Mr. X will bear. So what will happen if partner is supposed to bear? Okay, so same thing. If the partner is supposed to bear means it will be partner's capital account debit, right? Partner's capital account debit to bank account. If it is mentioned that the partner has paid it, okay, if it is mentioned that the partner himself has paid it, then we are not supposed to show any entry. Okay, but here it is not mentioned that the partner has paid it. Okay, he was supposed to pay it. Okay, Mr. X, one of the partner, has to bear these expenses, but since there is no information whether he paid or not, so we'll assume that it was paid by the firm. So that is why this realization expenses will be taken from his account again, X capital account debit, okay, to cash or bank account 15,000. So you can see here X capital account debit 15,000 to bank account 15,000. You can mention cash also, no problem. Being realization expenses paid by the firm on behalf of the partner. Okay, realization expenses कुछ बता के नहीं दिया, X ने दिया कि नहीं, but उसको देना था ना, he was supposed to pay. So that is why what will happen? We are going to take from him X capital account debit to bank account 15,000. Clear? Remember, if you mention cash here, you should mention cash in every situation. If you mention bank, then you mention bank in every situation. Okay, don't mix up with the two. Okay, this is also an important point you should remember. Coming to the point number 5, realization expenses amounted to 20,000. Okay, the realization expenses was 20,000. Rupees 8,000 were to be borne. Okay, rupees 8,000 were to be borne by the firm. 8,000 रुपए फार्म को बेयर करना चाहिए था, एंड द बैलेंस बाय मारुति अ पार्टनर. ठीक है, 8,000 रुपए फार्म को बेयर करना चाहिए था, बाकी पैसा मारुति को देना चाहिए था. In this question also you can see, is it mentioned that Maruti paid that amount? No, it is not mentioned. That means the firm has entirely paid the amount of 20,000. The firm has entirely paid the amount of 20,000. 8,000 which was to be borne by the firm, as well as the remaining, what is the remaining? 12,000. 12,000 that is to be paid by Maruti. So what will happen? If you want to understand in a breaking it into two, splitting it into two parts, then you can see the entry for 8,000 first. 8,000 which was to be borne by the firm. Firm को bear करना था 8,000. So what will be the entry? Realization account debit 8,000 to bank account 8,000. Okay, that is for the 8,000 that the firm was supposed to bear, and the remaining 12,000 that Maruti will bear. What will be the entry for that? Maruti's capital account debit 12,000 to cash or bank account, let's mention it bank account 12,000. Okay, so these two entries you can compile together and you form in a compound entry like this: realization account debit 8,000, Maruti's capital account debit 12,000 to bank account 20,000. Okay, understood? Realization account debit 8,000 the firm, what is the firm is supposed to bear. Maruti's capital account debit 12,000 what Maruti was supposed to bear, but he did not pay, so the firm is paying on for him. Okay, and to bank account, money went, the amount of money that was paid was 20,000. Okay, money went out of the business, so 20,000 will be credit. So the narration will be being realization expenses. Okay, realization expenses of 8,000. You can just mention in your own way, there's no hard and fast rule. Being the realization expense of 8,000 that was to be borne by the firm, paid along with Maruti's share of realization expenses of 12,000. Okay, in this way also you can mention, or if you want you can mention as it is written here. Okay, or you can even mention like this also, being realization expenses paid on behalf of partner as well as the portion of the firm. Okay, that is also more simple, right? So coming to the next one, I hope all of you have understood up to this point. This is very important because this question generally form part of a part of the main question paper that comes in the CBSE every year. One of the other point is related to dissolution expenses, and this question is totally related to dissolution expenses. So this is very important question. You can expect this type of questions in your final examinations. Okay, this is very important. So let's go to the next one. Now we will take point number 6. What is mentioned here? Dissolution expenses amounted to 20,000. Okay, the amount of dissolution expenses was 20,000. And what happened here? 8,000 were to be borne by the firm. 8,000 was to be borne by the firm. Firm को देना था 8,000 and the balance, बाकी जो पैसा बचेगा, okay, बाकी जो पैसा बचेगा by Maruti. Maruti will pay the remaining amount. That is remaining how much? 12,000. Maruti is a partner. Okay, the expenses was paid by Maruti. All that 20,000 was paid by Maruti. Okay, that means this time what happened? Other time what happened that Maruti was supposed to pay and the firm paid the whole 20,000. This time what happened? Firm was supposed to pay 8,000 and Maruti was supposed to pay 12,000. This time whole amount of 20,000 Maruti paid. Okay, the expenses was paid by Maruti means the total amount was paid by Maruti. Clear? So if Maruti has paid the total amount, so what will happen? As I have already told you earlier also, now if firm was supposed to bear and partner is paying it, then that amount of money the firm will have to pay to partner. Okay, suppose understood na? Suppose 8,000 rupees was to be borne by firm here, right? Now what has happened? Maruti has paid it, so this 8,000 firm will pay to whom? Maruti. And this remaining of 12,000 which was Maruti was supposed to pay, see the balance was to be paid by Maruti, a partner. So Maruti, if he is paying his expenses, so there will be no entry for that, because if he pays the expenses, it is his personal account, means his own personal expenses. We are not going to see. He was supposed to bear, he borne it. So that's no entry required. There's no entry required for that to be given in the business. Okay, only entry that will be required is that if it is related to direct business activity. Direct business activity means suppose 8,000 rupees. This in the same question. Okay, this 8,000 rupees. 8,000 rupees. Who was supposed to bear? Farm. But who is paying? Maruti. So for this you have to give the entry. Now if suppose Maruti was supposed to pay 12,000 and he paid 12,000, so it is his entry. It will not be shown in the book. Okay, so only 8,000 will be shown here. How it will be shown? Since Maruti has paid it, so Maruti will get the money, and realization expenses, there is a dissolution expenses, same thing. Okay, it is a loss for the firm. How much is the loss? Only 8,000, because the firm was supposed to bear only 8,000. So realization account debit 8,000 to Maruti's capital account 8,000. You can see here realization account debit 8,000 to Maruti's capital account 8,000. The realization expenses which was paid by Maruti has been given to him now. Clear? I hope all of you understood this point. It's very interesting one. Okay, then coming to the next one, point number 7, that is Sudhir, a partner, was allowed a remuneration of 10,000. There was a partner whose name was Sudhir. He was allowed a remuneration of 10,000. Means he will get a salary, or you can say a remuneration. If it is difficult to understand, remuneration means a collection of all the incentives. Okay, so he is supposed to get a remuneration of 10,000 to carry out the dissolution firm. Okay, to carry out the dissolution of the firm. So dissolution करने के लिए उसको 10,000 rupees दिया जाएगा. ठीक है? Actual expenses was 16,000. Actually, the dissolution expense was 16,000. But what he told, he told that I will bear the expenses. Okay, I will bear the expenses 10,000. So since he has agreed to 10,000, so the firm will pay only 10,000. After that, if the expenses is more than 10,000, then also will not pay him extra. We'll pay him only 10,000. If the expenses is less than that, then also will not pay him less. We'll pay him 10,000. Okay. So here also the entry will be only for 10,000. So what will be the entry? This remuneration of 10,000 we have to give to Sudhir. Okay, and it is a loss for the firm. So what we will write? Realization account debit. It's a loss. So realization account debit 10,000 to Sudhir's capital account 10,000. We'll have to give to him. Okay, only the 10,000 amount, not the remaining amount. So realization account debit 10,000 to Sudhir's capital account 10,000. Why are not mentioning 16,000? Because he has agreed that he will bear the expenses and he has taken 10,000. So any extra amount of losses and all he have to bear. We are not going to see. Okay, Sudhir will bear that expenses. So it is the amount is 10,000, not 16,000. Clear? Now coming to the last point, that is Vijay, a partner. Vijay is also a partner. Paid realization expense of 10,000. He paid the realization expense of 10,000, and these were to be borne by him. He was supposed to bear, he paid it. So as I already told you in the previous entries also, that if a partner is supposed to bear the realization expenses and if he is bearing it, ठीक है, उसको देना है और उसने दिया, so उसका एंट्री हुआ है ना, तो फर्म क्यों एंट्री करे उसका? दैट इज व्हाई फर्म विल नॉट गिव एन एंट्री फॉर दैट. There will be no entry for this transaction. No entry, right? Clear? I hope all of you understood this question very nicely and clearly. Okay, this is a very important question. This question is composition of all the realization type of expenses, realization expenses, and the types that may arise. Okay, please go through it nicely and practice this type of sums from your book. You can refer to your exercise for that. Okay, and kindly watch the video completely and mention your feedback on that. Also make sure that you practice it and you have noted it down in your copy. Don't refer to your book and it is there in the book, I will do that, I will do that. No, please make sure that it is noted down in your book with date wise. Okay, after the reopening it can be assessed how well you have attended the classes. So please take care of this and make sure that you have understood all the things. If it is not clear, you are free to call and clarify your doubts. Okay, my dear students, we'll end up today's class here. Please take care of yourself and do take care of your studies. We'll meet in next video. Till then, bye bye.